Welcome back here to the finishing line, and this time with my good friend Jordi from KURZ. Jordi, if you can be in the front of the screen, then we can see you. That would be nice.
So,
So, Jordi, you look tired, and you have a good reason for it, right?
yeah, so as I already explained to you, so since Chicago, I have been traveling. So thanks God, we have plenty of interest from many customers from many different places. Besides having many different manufacturing sites in the company, so our life is quite complex, going from here to there in short notice. And so since Chicago, I has been traveling. I came back yesterday very late in the evening. I had the privilege to talk to you at 11 in the evening. But
That's true.
so, all good. So, and today at 8 o'clock in the morning, I was already with some customers from Asia. So, yeah, but this is our life.
KURZ is a old family, I mean, old in a positive way, old family-owned company. And I think that sometimes people have a little bit difficulties placing KURZ as a company because, of course, in our industry it's the foiling thing. But when I visited your colleagues in the US, I also realized that you are very, very big in when it comes to all the surfaces in cars and in a lot of different spaces that are not inside this industry. I also realized when we visit you in your headquarter that you have Scribbers, which is software. You have Imprint, which is imprinting and developing inkjet technology. And I mean, you have so many different products and service and offering under this one. Is it sometimes difficult for I would almost say conglomerate as KURZ, for you as a person to keep track on everything?
So, it's quite difficult to understand all what we do. If you don't really spend time talking to many people and trying to understand what is the reason to have all these different approaches to the market. Thanks, or for different reasons, I worked for KURZ many years ago. Not for KURZ, I worked for the Spanish distributor of KURZ when I was still young and having black hair. And so I spent a few years working for the distributor, and for me it was like a learning curve. So I really use all this time to understand all these different technologies. So that's why for me coming back to KURZ, it was somehow easy. But I can really understand that for you and for many other people in the industry, it could be difficult to understand all of this, and mainly because in some cases it looks like we're cannibalizing our own businesses. For instance, digital metal. And yesterday, for instance, I was having a meeting about this. Digital metal could be a kind of enemy for HM, which is the company producing the tooling for hot stamping. Which is but this is the wrong perception. We are not attacking our own companies. We just
Of
want to
course
have
not.
always the right solution for any customer. So we want to be in the area of surface decoration. So any type of surface decoration. So it could be plastics, it could be paper, it could be any type of surface, even fabrics. We want to have always different approaches to the same market, always trying to bring to any customer the right solution.
You are, of course, responsible for the digital side of it, and you have also a background from the printing side. I mean, you were involved with both Heidelberg and also HP, as far as I remember. That must give you a huge advantage of understanding the applications and the entire digital mindset. And at the same time, as the background you say from the distributor of KURZ in Spain, you also have I call it the beautification of the materials, right? So you have both sides. It must be a huge advantage for you when you navigate this huge and complex industry.
So indeed, yeah. So this is one of the reasons why I decided to join KURZ, or I will say that why KURZ, the management, they thought about me as the person who can take the lead on that. So in my roles at HP, Indigo, and at Heidelberg, I combine different functions, but we can say that when I was at Indigo, I was on the business side. I was the business manager of the packaging business in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So I was not in the front line with customers. I was supporting and leading the business from the headquarters, having all the sales team around, but having a very close connection with the GBU of HP in Israel, which was fantastic. I still keep a great friendship with many people there. When I moved to Heidelberg, my position was much more in the front line. So I was the global sales manager for the Prime Fire 106. So the combination of these two functions, having a clear understanding of the process of bringing a new product to the market, and this is what I did at Indigo, also at Heidelberg with the Prime Fire, but also having the experience of talking to many customers in many different regions for many different or doing many different segments. Me, let's say, a kind of wide view of the packaging business or the business, to be more accurate, which now I'm just bringing to KURZ. I'm not copying things. I'm just, and this is what I'm always saying to everybody, I'm just using the best experience which I could make.
But it's
during the last year. So
Yeah.
I'm bringing this best experience to KURZ just to improve some processes and some approach to market.
Yeah, but when I was visiting KURZ headquarters and saw your open weeks, labor weeks, I was quite amazed because I mean, if you look at the of all the staff, I mean, because I don't think that any company is made out of one person, but there needs to be somebody who drives a process. And I think that what you have done, at least from my perspective, and maybe it's because I didn't know KURZ well enough from before, but you have putting KURZ into change mode in a positive way, where you basically maybe with your knowledge and experience from the printing industry bring the not just the foiling but the entire, even though you're responsible for digital, you take the entire company forward. Is that something that is a role that you have just taken on yourself, or is that because KURZ is also moving?
See, Morten, that's the reason why I love to talk to you. So, yeah. So I don't want to say it's me. So for sure, I'm one of the elements which is being used to change a little bit and to reshape the approach to the market. But it's important to make very clear that if I'm at KURZ and if I'm having the privilege to be the person driving this business to the next level, is because of the commitment, basically, of Walter KURZ, who is the CEO, the president. He's, of course, a member of the KURZ family. You can understand it from his name. He's still fully committed on this mission. So he wants to bring or to move us to a leadership position in the market. And his commitment is clear. This is a family-owned business, as you know. Any decision, any wish, any ambition from the KURZ family is a mission for all of us. So when he told me, Jordi, I want you helping us to bring KURZ to the leading position in this market, I said I accept that in less than 1 second, because it's fantastic to have this strong commitment from the owner of the company.
Yeah, and I was just about to say, because I mean, basically, the bigger the organization are, sometimes the decision process is really complex and timely. But if you are commissioned directly by the head of an organization, it should give you some leverage in getting things done, of course. And I think that is great. This week we have been doing a lot of sessions about finishing, of course, because it's an interesting thing. And today is about embellishment. In your opinion, is embellishment a growing market, or is it a stable market?
You mean embellishment in general or digital?
No,
So
embellishment in general.
in general. So yes, it's I will say, and this is something that I keep repeating to everyone. So to me, and I will say for many of the brand owners, embellishment is like the next challenge. Printing, of course, in this business is, I will say, it's a very important part of the process. But today, because we are all of us as a consumers, we are very picky, and all of us, we are different, and we really need to be attracted by products. So it's difficult to do all of this only with colors. I'm not saying it's possible, but it's something that has been done for many, many years with all this personalization, individualization, and it's fantastic. It works very well, but the next stage, of course, is jumping to embellishment. And then the same process which have happened with the printing business, moving from conventional to digital, course, it has to happen the same with embellishment. So we don't, of course, at KURZ, we don't pretend to substitute conventional embellishment because this is still our core business.
Yeah.
As I said before, we just want to bring another option to any customer, which, if you want, it's basically the same message as I used when I was at Heidelberg. So because we had these offset machines, we had the Prime Fire, which was a digital machine. And of course, we keep repeating to everyone that the main aim of Heidelberg was to have always a solution for any customer need. Unfortunately, with Heidelberg, it didn't work well.
No,
but
no.
With KURZ, I'm pretty sure that because how the market is evolving, and also because of the complexity of the machine, and so I'm sure that we are going to achieve that because we're already in the process of achieving the goals which we have set up.
Yeah, and talking about also the commitment to the market, I think that is one of the things that is sometimes very nice about private companies, is that they have maybe a little bit more patience in the market if they have enough money, of course, rather than public companies or things like that. And now, in that perspective, I can't help think about that when we met last week in Chicago. You announced a partnership with Graphotronic, and basically it's a module for Graphotronic that is built on the KURZ Uniliner, and basically you add the digital embellishment side to a well-known player in the market. How important are these partnerships for KURZ as a company, and also the commitment to continue developing?
So it's extremely important. So we are very pleased of having now this partnership with Graphotronic. They are a fantastic team with great products, nice people with whom to spend time, and of course they are growing. The presence in the market of Graphotronic is growing quite a lot, but they are not the only partner that we have today. So we are really investing plenty of time and efforts to grow the partnerships that we have on the finishing side and also on the printing side. So you can consider all the solutions that we do as embellishment, which can be done before printing the colors or even after printing the colors. So depending on what it is, the embellishment before or after, it could be interesting to have our units on the printing side in line with Indigo, for instance. Could be interested to have these units on the finishing equipment with Graphotronic, for instance. Or if the customer is not 100% sure of if they are going to use 50-50 or 60-40, does not matter, but they are going to use both options. That's why we also have our standalone solutions, which can do both. In 1 minute. Company was a brand who only does standalone solutions. We want to have always the best solution. So if the customer wants to have this on the printing side, we want to do that. On the finishing side, the same. And that's why now we are in the process of creating all these alliances, partnerships, which is not easy because, all the processes are always somehow complex. Yeah. But yeah, we are very glad to have now Graphotronic. Recently, we have also announced a new partnership with SMAC. And yeah, so many others will come. Yeah. And of the printing side, we have a very strong partnership with our friends from India.
Yeah. And of course, when you make alliances, as you just mentioned, that also put a pressure a little bit on KURZ, because then it is even more important that you continue investing and develop the technology, because now you are basically asking other people to trust you, right?
Yeah. So this is a journey. So and let me use something which maybe you think, well, why Jordi is saying that now? But I will say that it's a nice way to illustrate what I want to say. So today sustainability, as you know, it's a big trend in the market. And there is a beautiful sentence that we keep repeating at KURZ, which is for us, for KURZ, sustainability is a journey. So we start this journey many years ago, and we will always keep or try to keep improving and trying to keep a little bit more sustainable and a little bit better for the environment. The investment that we have to do on the equipment side is also a journey. So I'm pretty sure that we will never have the right solution or the perfect solution that can do everything. This embellishment world is very complex. And yeah, so once the management of KURZ, the KURZ family, once they decide that they want to be a strong player in this market, it's basically to jump into the boat going to discover Americas. So now we have a big journey in front of us. We know that this is going to be a challenge. We know that it's going to be, we are going to sweat, we're going to cry, we're going to see blood here and there. But it's a journey that we have decided to start it, and we cannot stop investing money. We know that we will need to keep investing money for the future, in the future, without any reason why to stop. Because, as you know, our main aim is to keep selling our transfer products to the market. So we want to have the best solution to all these transfer products to the market.
I just have a little anecdote actually, because we talked about the different types of integrations you do. The very first time I saw a foiling machine, digital foiling machine, it was the name called DM Jetliner, which is basically the name when you integrate it with an indigo machine. And it was with a small, really nice French company, Sébastien Lucas. And I saw that he was actually at your Label Weeks just a few weeks ago. Maybe you can just talk a little bit, what is Label Weeks and why is this it's a kind of a deal breaker for the industry, isn't it?
It is. So, but see, so just to explain Label Weeks, it's important to understand from where we come from. So everybody, or I will say in the printing business, KURZ is a very well-known brand. If you ask to anyone in the printing business, most likely they will associate KURZ with transfer products. But since a few years ago, we have already started this journey to become also a leader on the equipment side, introducing some products and doing a few things. Then I came also to the company just to reshape a little bit the portfolio, the approach to the market. But then the pandemic, cancellation of LabelExpo Brussels. So we have spent, let's say, I'm already 2 years in the company. So in September, 1st of September was my second anniversary working for KURZ. During these 2 years, I will say these 2 years were the worst 2 years, at least as far as I remember, and most likely for the last century. The market was totally stopped. And it was just at the moment where we were introducing many new products to the market. So without having the chance to use Drupa, without having the chance to use LabelExpo Brussels, which let's say is our main playground to introduce all these products. So we were in a dilemma saying, what do we do? So of course, LabelExpo US, any type of show is fantastic, but to all the European printers, converters, friends that we have around, we don't see any chance to see all what we offer in the coming month. That's why we decided to organize our own LabelExpo, which is only based on our products and not only about digital products. So basically, our Label Weeks are an open house to show to any person in the market interested who we are, what we do, and how we do things. So you have been there. It's a very humble organization where we show plenty of technology, plenty of different technologies, methods to do embellishment. And we have, of course, our cold foil applications, our cold transfer applications with on an offset printing machine. We have some applications for the flexo printing business on a nomad machine. So we have a nomad machine with all our systems integrated. We even have a Gates file commander to show what we do on the hot stamping side. And of course, we have all the digital equipment that we have introduced, together with plenty of experts who can guide any visit about the offering of imprint from the printing side, Codifierung, or I'm not sure about what is the German word, but printing barcodes, printing QR codes, serialization, let's say, and also the beautiful offering from Scribos. So, as we discuss, as we talk sometimes, if you combine the embellishment together with the brand protection, the traceability, the serialization of the product. So basically, we are giving to any brand a turnkey solution. So they only have to produce the product. All the rest could be in the hands of KURZ without any question. Having a very reliable partner, which is for many years in the industry, delivering only high quality products.
And when we visited Label Weeks, I must say that it was, you put a lot of pressure on us. I think that you had like 13, 14, 15 people that we should talk to because you have so many products and offerings. And for those who watch this and want to dig into each of the companies, go to INKISH TV and search for KURZ. Then you will definitely be surprised about the wealth of information you find there. And also just to add on, because you're so humble, my friend Jordi, because basically what KURZ has done is basically take a relatively big hall with equipment and turned it into, it's almost like a trade show where you see the samples, you see different stalls and booths where you can come and talk to different people about it. And at the time where it's still like a expo, it is also an R&D lab. So it is really work in progress, and you really get an opportunity to talk to the specialists. So if you have, as Jordi said, if you have an interest, I think you should definitely reach out to your KURZ representative and see if you could find your way into that Label Weeks. It's and I think, Jordi, I spoke to your colleague Stefan when I met him some time ago, and didn't you decided to expand the time or extend the time?
So it's really so. Of course, me, Jordi, as a person who is more on the sales side, I always love to be with people and explain what we do. So for product management, for some other people, also to me, it's surprising to see how excited they are, because at KURZ, I don't want to say that this is something new, but it's not common to have that type of open houses. And having this open house where we offer to anyone some of the best experts in the world about any type of embellishment, and you can spend with each of them as much time as you want. You can ask whatever. So we are not banning any type of question. We are not banning any type of visit. And we see printers, brand owners, partners in the industry, people coming, trying to understand how we can find any type of partnership, people just coming to have a better understanding. And we're open our hearts to the world, saying, guys, come to meet us, come to see what we do. The excitement, as I said, I am excited. My team, my sales team, all of them, this is what we do, and we love to have people around and bombing them with information and selling. But also all these product management experts, even these doctors on chemistry, they have all these people asking questions. Yeah, it's a fantastic experience.
But I would say that the number of samples you have from customer, that is like real life samples where you see the technology in use, basically, that is astonishing itself. Jordi, I know that you know that too, that in the foiling world and also in the foil applicators world, there is of course some kind of competition. When it comes to the digital metallization, there is also quite some competitive area. There's like the Scodexes, there's like the MGIs, and recently also something like the Ecoleaf thing. I mean, where do you see KURZ in that perspective? Because I mean, you're a huge player in the market. You have a lot of knowledge in the chemistry and in the metallization part. But where do you see yourself in, not in competition to any of these I mentioned in particular, but more in general things?
So, as I said a few minutes ago, I truly believe that embellishment is one of the next challenge in the printing business, and thanks God for all of us, this business is going to be big enough to have all these companies playing around. So some of the companies that you say, they are mainly focused on the sheet fed side.
Yeah.
Others, they do everything. So some others, they have innovative solutions, which maybe still have to demonstrate and to prove in the market what they can do. But the printing business is big enough to have all these different offerings. How I see KURZ here? So I will say that one of the main tasks that I want or I wanted to do from the beginning of my journey at KURZ was to have a comprehensive portfolio covering many different segments. So I don't want to be in a niche market. I want to have always a solution for any type of need for embellishment. And that's why we have offering for commercial printing, packaging, both in sheet fed or raw fed solutions. The utilization of transfer products, what you call foil, we call that transfer products, but we are talking about the same thing.
Switch out many names, right?
Yeah, but utilization of foil transfer products, yes or not, basically it still exists, even in these companies who are saying that they don't use. So at the end of the day, it's not about foil, yes or not, it's about the polyester which is involved on this process. And the polyester is always the carrier for the aluminum particles that we apply on the substrate. Not on, so we don't apply any polyester, we just apply the aluminum. We can be easily attacked from this side. This is obvious, and this is what some of these companies are doing. What is the strength that we have at KURZ? So we produce all these consumables, all these transfer products. Presently, we have introduced what we call the slim foil, which basically means that we have reduced significantly the weight, the thickness of the polyester.
Yeah, we talked to one of your colleagues. I can't remember his name right now, but it was considerably. It was half the thickness of the. And I can tell you, I actually spoke to Mike King from Eagle Systems afterwards, because he is like kind of a specialist in cold foiling, and I think that it's generally. What's it called? Generally accepted that this is also a way of reducing both shipping costs, because the rolls become smaller, but also reducing the waste of the carrier, right? I mean, so this is just one example. I think that also I think we have that also in INKISH. There was some from your management talking about the sustainability agenda, and we had like a walkthrough of how you do it, because I mean there's many ways of being sustainable. So I understand what you're talking about. I just want to say that there is we have some films about it on INKISH as well.
Yeah, sure. So, but what I want to say is that, as I said also before, so for us, sustainability is a journey. So we know that there is always some room for improvement, and we will keep fighting for that. The market is big enough to accept technologies which are bulletproof today, as what we do. Technologies which still have to prove what is the potential. For sure, if it's not one technology today, will be another one in the short future.
100%. I mean, innovation never stops, right? So yeah.
Of course, but we have, let's say, the power of having the deep knowledge on the application of the transfer products and the production of these transfer products. So the majority of our competitors are also our customers. So they buy our transfer products to sell to do metallization into their machines. So we have what we call frenemies. So they
frenemies. That's great.
So, but because the market is still, let's say, or digital embellishment is at the beginning of this process, all of us, we have this, let's say, very friendly relationship, because we know that the market will accept all of us together. And maybe if we have to fight, let's say, for the to each other in 20 years, welcome. So it will mean that we are doing the right things today. So yeah.
Fantastic. Jordi, I think it's been a wonderful chat with you. So I appreciate that you are participating here in the finishing line. I have a personal question, kind of. We see each other at our non-event in Copenhagen in end of November. I do look forward to see you. That was just what I wanted to say.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if you will be okay if I say that, but to anyone listening us and still hesitating about if it makes sense or not to go to Copenhagen to your event, my recommendation is do not hesitate and come to Copenhagen. So non-event is great. I have to tell you that I have only attended once. It was a great experience. It was, besides having plenty of good talks with partners, some other members of the community, we had fun, and it was a very relaxed atmosphere where I even came back with 2 new partnerships. So after spending one day I think that last year I spent there one night, one day, and then I flew back on the following day, something like this. I don't remember, but in this short period of time, I came back with 2 very strong partnerships, which is fantastic. So the output for me was much better than in many shows where I have to spend 1 week. And besides that, I create some good relationships with some other people, and of course, Copenhagen is always a beautiful city where to go. So I'm not sure if this is something that you expected, Morten. Of course, we don't.
I didn't ask you to promote my event, but now I will definitely abuse it like hell, I tell you. But nevertheless, I look forward to see you in person wherever it is. It's always a pleasure to meet you and your colleagues. And I can tell you, we have still 2 edits left from KURZ USA. It was very great to be and see your colleagues. It was very warm in North Carolina that time of year, but it was still very nice to see your colleagues, and a fantastic headquarter you have in the US as well. But Jordi, all the best, and thank you very much for your time here, and I look forward to see you soon, hopefully.
Yeah, take care, Morten. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.